There's a special kind of stupid for people who willingly put themselves through college at 50 years old. I'm one of them. Let's see how this goes.
I'm a professional poker player. I've made more money on a single hand than most people make in a month. So believe me when I tell you, going back to college at 50 is the biggest risk I've ever taken. It's like trading a hand you know is winning for a lottery ticket you can't even read. Walking through this campus is like being in a different country. The optimism is terrifying. I spent 50 years collecting skills that don't even fit on a resume. Compartmentalizing, risk assessment, knowing exactly when it's time to cash out. My life taught me a brutal kind of organization. Now, I'm just applying those rules to a syllabus.
They told me to follow my dreams. I didn't realize that my dreams involved a biology lab at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm pretty sure my lab partner was born after I took my last exam. If you told me a year ago that going to college at 50 years old was on my bingo card, I would have laughed it off. But here I am. So if you are thinking about going to school later in life, you can kind of follow along in my process here. I had all this really great momentum of getting this YouTube channel started. I was doing a lot of creative work. I remember August hit, I got sick, I went out of town, I had a birthday, and then school started up, and I just did not have the time to keep up with everything that's going on right now. But I need to have something creative going because otherwise I'm going to drive myself absolutely nuts. These kids look like they've never lost a hand in their life or had a mortgage or a divorce. I'm going to guess it's all three. So I'm going into a radiological tech program here, and the school I'm going to, it's one of the top 2 in the country for community colleges. And the program is actually very, very competitive. So getting straight A's is going to be priority for me to actually get into this in my prerequisites, which is what I'm doing right now. Now, look, professors are not the only ones that don't know how to use technology. I am absolutely shocked and amazed at how inept the majority of young people are at using technology. They might be great at using YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, those kind of things, even editing things, but they have no idea how to actually utilize the technology that's available to them. Number one, the amount of times, and I'm going to blame this partly on the professor because he doesn't know in the Zoom class to have everybody's microphones muted as soon as they sign on. Unfortunately, half these kids don't realize that their microphones are on, so they're having conversations with people around them or on their phone when they first come into class. One girl didn't realize that we were all listening and she was talking about kissing somebody. The other thing that really kind of surprised me is that, at least in my one in-person class, we have to send in a bunch of assignments and scan in PDFs. And I'd actually teach a lot of people how to scan a PDF with their phone and actually send that in. And the amount of people on my remote classes that were asking the professors in the beginning of the class, how do they sign in? How do they get into their courseware? How do they do this? And it's like, you guys have never set up a login for a site before and actually gone on and verified it? I do try to remind myself, these guys are 18, 19. They have never had a job before in an atmosphere where they have had to actually do a lot of the technology jobs like this or had dealing with PDFs or anything like that. So, I try to give them a little bit of credit that, they've never had to utilize a lot of this information. So I can't blame them completely on all of that. The other one that really surprises me is how disorganized or they don't know how to follow syllabuses and class schedules. These things are laid out in the very beginning of the class. You know what's due. You know what assignments are due. Things can change. You can check it all in the Canvas site, which you get updates on. But the amount of people have been like, hey, when's the exam for this? Like, it's literally right there online. You can go and look at it. I'm not going to lie. It's been a bit of a reality check for me because not only am I in school basically full-time, I'm just shy, like 1 or 2 credits just shy of being completely full-time. But I'm also, playing poker 40 hours a week. And on top of that, trying to keep up with creative stuff. And the first few weeks here have not been easy to keep up with creative things. It also hasn't been easy to keep up with poker as well. So I've actually, missed out on some hours with that. That being said, there's a reason why I'm filming this today. as things are starting to settle down, and I don't mean it's settling down much. I've gotten some of the initial getting used to studying again out of the way. And now that I've got a bit of a system, I'm trying to find 2 to 3 hours on 2 or 3 days late in the evening after I'm done everything else, because I'm basically studying 24/7 or playing poker. But I'm trying to find some time to do creative work because I need this. I need to have something that is just for me. I had so much momentum going from when I started in August. I don't want to stop that. So I actually went in and I'm going to do a whole 10 video series here on going back to college and what it's like. I have more videos lined up after that. So I've got a bunch of things laid out. I don't know my posting schedule on this, but I'm going to start getting a little bit more creative with music and B-roll and everything like that inside of these videos that you'll hopefully be seeing in this one right here. So, I need this for me. It is a bit awkward to be filming at school or at least in class. So, also to protect privacy of people in the lecture halls and everything like that, I'm probably going to limit it a little bit to more just like general hallways, walking around inside the school or outside. I probably won't be able to film much in the actual classroom. Maybe if my biology teacher is okay after class, if I get a little bit of B-roll of some of the different lab experiments around there. But I do really want to avoid getting too much with people inside of there. And this camera is not a distraction. It's the only thing kind of keeping me sane right now, and it's also my evidence that I'm out here actually doing this. So yeah. College education and this new channel here are kind of two different pains for me. And, I'm here for both of them. It should be an adventure. And that's me reporting from the front lines. The casualties are high. The caffeine's strong. I'll see you next time.
Exactly where I wanna be. You'll catch me doing as I please. Don't think I've ever felt so free. I keep on flowing with the breeze. Let's ignite this feeling. Gotta let it out. Dancing on the ceiling won't come down. How about